It's the Innovation Podcast with Mark Reed Edwards and Garnet Harriman. Let's start the show.
Hi, it's Mark, back with more from Garnet's trip to CES last week. We're in the second episode of the Innovation Podcast, but we're on to day 3 of CES with Garnet. Right now, we visit again with Laura Haykel of Language Line. This was recorded at the Connected Home Transport Innovation Space, and Garnet asked Laura what she really liked.
Well, one of the things that I think is totally cool and really fascinating is the smart bathroom by Kohler.
What's smart about it?
Well, what's smart about it is that the entire bathroom, from the toilet to the sink and vanity, the mirror, the bathtub, and the shower, are all connected and can be controlled via Alexa. Wow. So you can actually set different presets for the temperature of your water in the shower, the temperature of your water in the bath, the height of the water in the bathtub.
It's good for water conservation, right?
Absolutely, because what will happen is you can say, Alexa, start my shower, and it will heat up the water before the water even starts coming out of the shower head. So I love that. I also think that the design is very cool. It's very kind of space age with a spa flair, and
that's their thing, right? The bold look of Kohler.
Exactly.
Right? Is that their tagline?
Exactly. So I think
it really is bold.
I think they're sticking to brand. They're doing
it.
They're
They're on message.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. And I also love the idea of a toilet that you never have to touch. You don't have to flush it. You don't have to clean it. It's just fully self-contained, and all you need to do is sit on it.
Now, if we could just get them installed in Port Authority bus terminal,
exactly,
we'd be doing
really great. Yeah, but at $5,000 to $8,000 a pop.
Yeah, I'm guessing De Blasio is not going to pop for it.
No, I think he's got other priorities. But I've also seen some other really cool things like at-home eye exams.
Cool.
Where you can do an eye exam at home with an app, and then you can just order glasses direct. Cool. There's also a couple of booths that are selling home sonogram application for pregnant women.
What does the sonogram do?
Well, it's basically just checking for the health of pregnancy, the health of a baby, and then that information goes direct to your doctor.
Oh, nice.
And
so the whole information flow between you and the doctor is like totally streamlined.
Exactly, and so we're looking at it from an outsider. I said, my concern is, well, what about the doctors? Is this all of this in-home healthcare taking away from the doctors? And the gentleman I spoke to said, no, actually, it's making the process more efficient. Yeah. It allows the doctor to not necessarily have to, go into an office, but they can still be giving you the best care and service.
Very cool.
In a more efficient way. So I thought that was really neat as well.
All right. Thank you, Laura Haykel.
Thank you. This is awesome.
Garnet then reconnected with a CES insider, someone who has been there many times as an attendee and booth designer, James Kern, founder and CEO of XISM, to see what the highlights were for him.
So actually, one of the things we were just looking at, which is sort of non-electrified tech, but tech innovation, was for an ergonomic type seating for the office. And basically, it kind of combines a Swiss ball with like a relax the back kind of chair for ergonomics. But basically, it's a stool on a Swiss ball, and you put your feet up on the base of the stool that rolls around, and you basically have to stabilize yourself with using your core and your back muscles. And I thought that's really good for those of us who sit in the office all day.
How was it for you the first time? You and I tried it out.
Yeah, it was pretty challenging. I was on one that had a pretty inflated bladder, so the bladder on the strength of the sphere on the bottom is adjustable based by how much air you have, and mine had quite a bit of air in it, so it was a pretty high sphere, and so that was pretty challenging and to hold in the middle. After about 2-3 minutes, it was a little bit exhausting, so you're going to have to learn how to use it. So that was pretty cool.
Is it detachable, or is it used only one way?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. So the base itself, the stool itself could come off the base, and you can use it as a standing version as well. So you can stand on your feet on the balancing sphere, the semi-sphere on the bottom, and use it as a standing desk. So that's pretty nice. Kind of 2-in-1 products. I've seen separate products for standing.
Good price, too, right?
Yeah, and it was, I think, right around the $5.99 price point, or maybe $4.99.
$4.99 with the discount.
With the discount. So that's
what
like
was
two
the name
products
of it?
in
You
one.
remember?
Called Sit Tight.
Sit Tight.
Sit Tight. And it was like, exercise while you're sitting. It was pretty good. So that was fun. Giving shout out to some of the stuff that's down in Indiegogo's booth. There's a bike called Mate.bike. It's literally MATE.BIKE, and it's a foldable electric bike that has big off-road tires, and it's actually the most successful campaign in terms of fundraising.
How much money did they raise?
Ever. They're right at the $20 million mark.
Oh my God!
Crowdfunding on the Indiegogo platform. So
that's incredible.
Phenomenal.
That's like a major outlier from the other fundraising efforts, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, from what I've learned in the Indiegogo space, that as products are put on the platform, they range usually between maybe 150,000 to like maybe 1.5 million. It'd be the sweet spot of most of the products. But there's certainly the breakout stories. They hit 2, 3, 4 million, but very rarely do they get into that double digits of millions.
That's incredible.
So it's very, very impressive, and a really cool product. When you see the product, you're like, wow, I want that. It inspires a sense of desire that is clearly part of the success of the funding.
So it's got a little bit of this object of desire thing that Apple is so good at with its appliances, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then other stuff on the Indiegogo platform, it's really neat because there's these unique products. Well, another one that was sort of a non-digital thing, there was this universal kitchen top for bowls or storage containers, and it was this really stretchy rubber kind of material that it was so flexible that it can fit all these different containers.
Did you happen to notice what was in the compound, or
no?
I
didn't. I don't know that it was advertised.
Okay.
I think that might be part of the secret sauce. Is what is the material? But one of the smart little things that had a little dial, a little button on the top. Every lid has a little like dial on the top that's basically got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you set it to the day that you put it in there. So you don't need a marker. You don't need a label. You don't need to write on something. You just say, okay, this was in here on Tuesday, and you know how many days it's old because you just set the dial in. And again, simple technology that's super useful, and it doesn't have to have an app that you download to mess with it. I think that's been interesting this year, is that there's less stuff that is like a standalone app for every gadget.
Right.
Because how many apps are you going to really play with on your phone?
Right. No, I think that is a really good characterization of one of the major themes here. Non-digital technology that's still very innovative and very new. I'm very curious what you think about some of these brands that seem to be having like nostalgic relaunches. Do you remember seeing anything from Victrola? Do you remember seeing anything from Polaroid?
Yeah. I didn't get to spend too much time in the main hall, but I did see yesterday RCA had their dog out. I forget the name of the dog, but the character from the RCA from the Victrola style.
I think he's called Spot.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
It was like Spittin' or Spiffin or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, so they were featuring some stuff on that. Like you said, it's a little bit of that nostalgia product design and to call back to simpler times, earlier times, and bringing back that feeling. So that definitely is.
And I think that correlates with like a zeitgeist thing, right? I mean, 2018 was the year of the big data backlash, right? The data tracking companies like Facebook that were previously darlings of the stock market and the world, really, all of a sudden are taking black eyes left and right from both consumers and from regulators. And I feel like there's not quite a backlash effect per se, but there's a zeitgeist that wants simpler, more honest, more transparent, possibly even more low-tech. Dare I say it, but more low-tech.
Absolutely. I mean, the amount of time it takes for you to unbox, set up, connect, configure,
learn,
and all the stuff that you have to do, right? And then still, let's say you spend an hour and a half, 2 hours doing that. How much of the capability of the product are you really even using at that point?
Right.
You're probably using 10 to 15% of it at best, right? So there's all the stuff it can do, and unless you're going to spend another 2 or 3 hours learning and playing with it, you're not going to end up using those features. That happens to me. I burn out after an hour or two.
Of course, you have to get back to real life.
Yeah, and you do your own thing. So if it's simple to use and it's quick and easy to understand, right? And I think that's been something that we've seen a trend as well coming back.
James Kern, CEO of Experientialism, now XISM. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
James and Garnet strolled over to chat with Bart Jacobcz Rosier, the guy behind those scooters we mentioned earlier. He's CEO of Etergo, the Tesla of scooters.
And this is our first product. It's called the App Scooter.
It's a beautiful, beautiful design.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We're based in Amsterdam, and it has 3 batteries with a range of 250 miles.
And then you can also just plug in here if you want. Is this the plug for connecting the batteries, or is for the charger?
It's for connecting the batteries.
The batteries. So the batteries always come out to charge.
You can also plug in the plug here and charge them all at the same time.
Okay, so you can just charge them just one time and have it. So if you have a garage, you can use the connector. You don't have to fold them out.
Exactly. Just 6 meters your cord and you can connect it where you want.
Nice.
And this is the largest storage space
That's
in
a
the world.
huge trunk. Yeah, that's
So
great.
it fits 3 times as much as any other scooter out
Yeah,
there.
my Vectrix has like this much, right? Like this.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. So it will fit you like a large sports bag, 2 full-face helmets,
Yeah, a
2
couple grocery bags.
Exactly. So
Very nice.
a couple of sawed-off shotguns.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
You can calculate if it's about 5 million of coke.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Perfect.
South America.
Yeah, you can get away with some gold bullions.
And basically what we did is we built a
Yes.
because of that, number 1 worldwide is people using their smartphone while driving, which is very dangerous.
Yes.
So you put this in your glove compartment, you connect it with, so you can charge it, Bluetooth connection with this, gives you the
That is
opportunity to stream Spotify.
So awesome.
Yeah,
And your speaker is here.
yeah. I think they just pressed a whole bunch of buttons because they kind of crashed
They
our
kind
demo.
of crashed. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
all
they're
good.
pressing everything.
It's all good.
Can you reset it or
Yeah, I
no?
can reset it.
Very cool.
I need one of these. This is my next purchase, right? I can
There
see
you
this.
go. There you go.
Okay, well, we need 2 because you have to be able to ride with a friend.
That's a big thing about product design. If you can get it to the point where it creates desire to own, you're
You're in a good spot.
halfway. Yeah, you're halfway to selling.
That really took us there, didn't it? It's always fun to go on location with these, and we plan to do a lot more of that over the next several months and years to come. Next time, Garnet and I will be talking about experiential marketing with a guy you heard a bit from today, James Kern of XISM, and Chris Clegg of Portma. So join us.
Thanks for joining Garnet and Mark on the Innovation Podcast. Visit innovationpodcast.co to subscribe and listen to other episodes.